Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Thursday, February 13th, 2020. We are again in the final hour of the trading day. As I mention each day, I prefer to make the majority of my buying and selling during the last hour of the day, and more specifically right in the last few minutes before the market closes. During the day, you have the algorithms, you have the day traders battling it out. I consider it mainly noise during the end of the day. In the last hour, the large financial institutions come in, they take over control of the pricing from the day traders and the algorithms. They have the most information, they have the smartest people, they're dealing with the most money, and so I like to ride the coattails of the large financial institutions and make the majority of my buying and selling decisions based upon what they're doing towards the end of the day. That being said, in the last week I have had 4 day trades, so forth. I believe 4 or 5 trades, and today I've had a couple to show you. They've been good trades, but the reason I'm doing this is to show you that the patterns that I use and the setups that I use do work on all time frames and all securities. When you have a good approach if they work on different time frames, different products, different stocks, commodities, so forth. It means they're robust. And that's what you're looking for in an approach, is a robust approach. So I will show you the day trades as well today. So thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. Always nice to see you here. Always look forward to it. When I started this channel, the first show, I was like, man, I don't think I'm going to have anybody. I'm just going to be here speaking to myself the whole time. But luckily, a buddy of mine jumped in, keep me company. But now it's grown, and it's just so great to have everyone here. So thank you so much. I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, do appreciate it. And I hope what you're learning here is helpful, and it's improving your trading and your investing. So, all right. Well, another kind of crazy day. The Dow is down 65 points. The down 0.22%. The NASDAQ is up right about break even right now, actually. And the S&P is slightly down. So we were down much larger earlier in the day. I remember woke up, look at the futures. I was like, oh man, holy hamburgers, pretty low. What happened? And there was some new reporting of the coronavirus in China, and I think that's what spooked the market. But this is the market that doesn't want to go down. It has crawled its way back and crawled its way back. Unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen a market this strong and this resilient. So anyway, let's take a look, make sure I'm coming through okay. All right. Evan is here. Good to see you, my friend. Always nice to have you, Evan. Good afternoon to you. Kamal, hello, sir. Nice to see you. Appreciate you coming by. Kamal and I had a nice call a couple days ago. Good trader. Nice guy. Thanks for being here, Kamal. Zach is here. Hello, Zach. Appreciate you being here, my friend. Joe Turner. Hey, buddy. What's happening? Hello to you. Dan. Hey, Dan. How you doing? Hey, everyone. I wonder if I'm the first to submit the thumbs up for this great live stream. Oh, I got a thumbs up. Thank you very much, Dan. I appreciate that. And thank you for everyone that does give me the thumbs up. That's very nice of you. Gamer Squad. Hey, David. Good to see you. Jackson, good morning, or good early morning for Jackson in Australia. Nice to have you here, Jackson. And Bob, hey, Bob, good to see you, sir. Appreciate you coming each day. I really do. If there's anything I can help you with, you please let me know, okay? So, okay, well. Here's the plan for today. We have a lot to get through. First of all, we're going to take a look at we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, We're going to take a look at my current positions. We're going to talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, and how I'm going to manage them going forward. After that, we're going to do a few minutes on trader psychology. It's very important. Trader psychology is the most important skill you can learn in trading. In my opinion, more important than looking at charts, resistance, entries, exit. That kind of stuff it is important, but being able to create a good plan is important, but being able to follow the plan is more important. You can be the best trader or chartist, you have the best plan in the world, but if you cannot follow it, what good is it, really? Think about it, right? Let that sink in. What good is it if you cannot follow it? So we have to work on that. And if you find yourself not being able to follow your plan, just position size smaller. I promise you it will help. And or get somebody in your family or your wife, your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, somebody, explain to them what you're doing, show them your setups, and ask them to be your risk manager, ask them to kind of oversee. And I promise you that will also help you follow your plan. So I don't care what kind of hack it is that, if you have to wear your Bjorn Borg sweatband and wristbands, if that's what gets it done, perfect. Put those things on, right? So anyway, we're gonna do a few minutes on trader psychology, as always. After that, we're gonna go through my watch list one by one. We're gonna look at each stock. We're gonna take a look at support levels, resistance levels, indicators such as MACD, RSI, moving averages, ATR channels. I look at each one of my indicators as a potential group of buyers, and you will put yourself in a position to have a much better chance to make a profit and have a profitable trade if you're in the company with as many other buyers as possible. That's the key, right? If you're buying and no one else is buying, I don't think that's going up, right? So I look at each indicator as a group of buyers. If I get multiple indicators lining up, I look at multiple groups of buyers coming in, and again, the more buyers, the better. So I look for a combination or confluence of indicators. Step two, or requirement number two, I want to make sure I have a good risk to reward ratio. I want to make sure that if I'm risking $100, I'm making at least $200 or more, right? The more, the better, but minimum of a 2-to-1 risk to reward based upon some kind of valid resistance above you, something that's likely to get there. Right, and then your support below. And then step three, just make sure you do not have too many correlated positions. It's fun when you have 5 tech stocks and everything's zooming on up. No doubt about it, it is fun. But if it goes against you, it is not fun, right? So I'm going to go through, look for those 3 requirements. If I find something at the end of the day, I will go ahead and buy it. Then after the market closes, if you have any questions, please let me know. Don't be shy. Put them in the chat. Happy to answer them. Happy to give you some clarification. And then if you have a stock symbol that you would like me to look at, please put it in the chat. And if you have a stock symbol that you would like me to look at that you think would be helpful for the group and you'd like to get my opinion on beforehand, please let me know that as well, and put a little star by it, something like that, so I know it's time sensitive. All right. So that is the plan for today. And if you don't mind, hang tight. I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I'll be back in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, let's take a look here. Zach says, Jackson decided to go with TradingView after spending a lot of time on there last night. I think you were the one mentioning it last night, right? Yes, I believe he was. Glenn, hey Glenn, nice to see you. Glenn says, hi Greg, bought IWM open this morning as it looks like small caps are taking over from big caps. China coronavirus has minimal impact on domestic USA companies. I was thinking the exact same thing today, Glenn. We are also in IWM, and it is definitely the clear winning index out of the NASDAQ, S&P, and the Dow for the reason that you just mentioned. So thank you for that. Dan says, TradingView has nice mobile app that the same password as desktop. I suggest looking at TradingView's public library of indicators as well as the built-in indicators. Okay, good. Thank you. Miko25, hey, good to see you again. Appreciate you coming here. Hope you're having a nice day. Zach says, I did that quite a bit today, actually, and found some good stuff in there. All right. All right, well, let's get to it and go through current positions. And then after that, we're also going to go through some of the current positions that you shared with me. So here we are on the IWM. I did buy this 2 days ago. I bought it here on the 11th of February when the 10 SMA crossed over the 50 SMA. This is a good long-term back-tested crossover approach. Does not work every single time, obviously, but the wins tend to be much larger than the losses, and that's the key to profitable trading. So I did take it here at 166.88. Did hit one profit target yesterday already. So a good start to the trade, and it's up today. You can see my profit target's right up there at 169.13, so hasn't quite got there yet. But who knows, with a little push at the end, maybe. So far, so good, up both days, off of its lows, and again, 10 crossing the 50. If the price closes below both the 10 and the 50, because those are the two moving averages that I use to enter the trade, if the price closes below both, that will be my stop. My initial profit target is the 70 RSI. So if we move all the way up here and then reject the 70 RSI, I would go ahead, lock in profits. If it goes above, holds above the 70, then I will keep it as long as it keeps moving up. And by the time it gets to my ultimate profit target up here, then I would be out of shares. So that's the plan. Okay. World famous SPY trade. So listen, in case we have some new viewers today, I want to quickly go over this. I do buy the SPY, SPY, every single day at the close of the market, and I sell it first thing the next morning. And this is not based upon technicals, indicators, oversold, overbought, anything like this. Just has to do with a long-term back-tested study from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest. This back test is from 1993. They tested two approaches. First approach was buy the SPY at the open in the morning, sell it in the afternoon at the close every day. Buy the open, sell the close, buy the open, sell the close. If you would have used this approach, you would have returned a negative 13.9%. However, if you did the opposite, which is what I do, and buy the SPY at the close instead of the open and sell it the next morning instead of the previous day's close, right? So just buy every close, sell every open. Buy every close, sell every open. If you would have used this approach, you would have returned a positive 634.2% compared to a negative 13.9% doing the opposite. Here's the equity curve. The blue line is the buy in the afternoon, sell in the morning. The orange line is the buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon. You can see the buy in the afternoon, sell in the morning. The equity curve has done much better than the opposite, right? Much better. This is the one that's gained 634.2%. So it doesn't mean that because it's worked in the past, it's going to work in the future. But if I'm going to allocate capital, I want to allocate it towards something that has a good track record. And you can definitely see the blue line has a lot better track record than the orange line. And I love the chart because it shows you if you have an edge and you can stay in the game and rinse and repeat that edge as often as possible, what your equity curve can look like. But of course, there are always ups and downs. Nothing goes straight up. So you want to be careful, position size correctly, so that even if you go through a bad patch, it doesn't get you out of the game or deflate you to not want to keep on going. So everything about trading is trading for the long term. Developing a system, using proper position sizing that will keep you in the game for the long run, so that your edge can play out. Right. So with that being said, I did buy the SPY yesterday at the close up here at 337.42, and this was a losing overnight trade. I sold it this morning 335.90. So I entered at 337.42, sold for a loss at 335.90. We've had a really nice run in this last week, and this has definitely been positive so far on the year. It was really positive in 2019. But that's how it goes. You don't win every single time. I remember back in May of 2018, I lost 80% of all my overnight SPY trades. But the next month in June, I think, I probably won close to 80%. And then through the rest of the year, I won, had profitable trades on it. So I really do like this trade. I like varying up my different approaches to trading. This is a short-term trade where I just buy in the afternoon and sell in the morning. So anyway, loss overnight tonight, but I will be buying this again today at the close. All right, UNH. This has been a great trade. I did buy this back here on the 11th of February, higher low V2. Higher low V2 is when the price closes below the -1 ATR channel, which is the green line. It then rallies into the value zone. It then has a sell-off for at least a couple days and then triggers a V2. Here is your day 1, here is your day 2, here is your day 3. Day 2 washes out day 1, day 3 closes above day 1. And yesterday we had over a 4% move. I think I hit 4 profit targets yesterday. It's definitely moved above the orange line here. The orange line is 1 ATR away from my entry. So at this point, I start instituting a trailing stop. Did not hit any profit targets today, got close. So at this point, couple things. If we close below the previous day's low, that will be my signal to exit the trade. If we keep moving up, I will continue to phase out and see how it reacts around the 70 RSI. If it rejects the 70 RSI, that would also be the place for me to lock in profits. But this has been a really nice trade, and it's down slightly today. It's down 18 cents today. And Joe Turner, Bing He, Kamal, and Bob have this trade as well. So congratulations on being in that trade. That's been a really good one. All right, as promised, I have an intraday trade here on Merck back here. And do you remember when I just showed you UNH, a higher low V1? Well, look at this. This is 5-minute bars, by the way. We closed under the -1 ATR channel. We rallied into the value zone. We came down more than 2 days sideways, and look at this V2 that I had here. Here is day 1, here is day 2, here is day 3. Day 2 washes out day 1, day 3 closes above day 1's close. This is a little high for me to take. I usually don't take them more than 3/4 of the way, but the reason I did is because it went and closed above the 20 EMA, and that's why I bought it. And next bar moved up nicely, sideways, 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 sideways. And then it moved up and hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 profit targets right here. So I did hit 5 profit targets, and I got out here when it rejected the downward sloping 50-day moving average. So higher low V2 moved up nicely, sideways, hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 profit targets, and then my exit was when I rejected the 50-day. The 55-minute moving average. And it did go up higher after that, but then it kind of fell down here, and that was it. And now we've come back all the way down here. So anyway, just a good example of a higher low V2, one of my favorite indicators, working not just on days, but also on intraday as well. Again, under the 1 ATR channel, into the value zone, came down at least a couple days, had some nice sideways movement here, and then triggered the V2, up, 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 and I got out here. Okay, second trade of the day. Oh, no, I want to show you one other thing here. I want to show you, okay, so you've seen the trade, but I want to show you the analysis that I did using different time frames. At the time that I took the trade, we had gone under 30 and over 30 on the daily. So, that was an indication of a higher time frame. I was like, oh, on the daily, this looks pretty good. Under 30, over 30. I went to the 39-minute bar, the intermediate term chart, and it stopped going down. It was holding some support. So on the daily was under 30, over 30, which is a good sign. On the intraday, the 39-minute, it was moving sideways, so it had stopped going down. And then on the 5-minute, that's where, oh, I erased the lines. but that's where I took the trade here because it looked good on the daily, it looked good on the 39-minute, and it also looked good on the look good on the daily, look good on the 39-minute, and also look good on the 5-minute. Okay, Apple. Here we go. So we were above the value zone, we came into the value zone, then we dropped below, we moved sideways, see the nice sideways movement. Here's a nice V1. I didn't take this one, although I could have, using a close below the halfway of the washout bar, and it held. But then we have the fake out bar. Here's our high. We went above and below. That is a negative. But the very next bar, we took out that first day's high. So we had a negative price action that immediately got reversed by a positive price action, which is very positive, and it also went back through all the moving averages, the 5, the 10, the 20, the 100. And so that was my entry right there at 325.25. My stop would have been close below these band of moving averages, and we moved up, hit 1, hit 2, hit 3 profit targets. The orange line here is 1 ATR away from my entry. Then the next day we closed below, or the next bar we closed below the previous day's low. So not a huge gain, but decent, you know, definitely nice dinner. But I just wanted to show you again that these work on, you know, different time frames as well. And from there, it's just kind of what's it's done. It's down from there. So anyway, those are the day trades. You told me that you didn't mind me showing you these, you know, that it kind of showed you that it worked on different time frames. So if I find a good trade, a real trade, I will go ahead and show you this. But knock on wood, definitely don't ever get cocky with the trading gods, I'm telling you. But we've had like 6 trades, 5, 6 trades in a row, intraday trades. So I'm definitely thankful for that. Okay, so Merck is out of there. Apple is out of there. All right, now let's take a look at some of your trades. So Malik and Kamal, I did like this trade yesterday. Not 100% sure it's going to go up. Of course, we never are, but I did like the washout, the V1, the washout. Here's day 1, day 2 washed out. Day 1 closed above day 1 for a valid V1, also closed above the 200-day, also closed back above the -3 ATR channel. These are a lot of indicators lining up. Now, today, if I was in this trade and it closed below the 200-day, I would go ahead and just get out. That would be me. But Kamal and Malik, you let me know if you have other plans for that trade. You know, one option would be a close below halfway of the washout bar. You're giving yourself a little bit more room on your stop, which, you know, could work in your favor, could work against your favor. But for me, honestly, the loss of the 200 would be my line in the sand. Malik, very similar trade here on IAC yesterday. V1 under the 100, over the 100. Today it looks like it's holding the 100 and the 200. Actually, the 200's hidden behind there. So if it were to close above both of those, me personally, I would hold it. If it lost both, I would get out. Murat, all right, so this is a little bit longer kind of trade here for Murat. He did buy this back on the 7th. Here, I think 395, moved up nicely, then it came down, then it had a nice roar up. So he's up nicely on this trade so far. He's up about 9%, something like that. So congrats, Murat. Very nice trade. Bing He. Okay, good. Bing He bought this KL back on the 11th. Went under the 200, under the -3 ATR channel, over the -3, under the 30 RSI, over the 30. It did yesterday. It was down a bit. Today it's back up. Bing He is using a close below the 30 RSI as his stop. It's up 1.63% today, so very nice. Gamer, that's David from Denver. Have this trade back here. It looks like a higher low V1 back in the value zone on the 10th. This has moved up spectacularly Very, very nice, gamer. Just, if it were me and we had to close below the 50, that would probably be my place to lock in profits. If it keeps going up, I would be looking for a rejection of the 70 RSI here. But I'm not sure what gamer's plan is, but let me know. Evan. All right, so Evan did buy DuPont back here on the 11th. We had a V2. We went under 30, over 30, back over the third ATR channel, and higher low. Everything you want in a trade. It moved up nicely yesterday, down a little bit today, but still positive on the trade. Bing He also bought this stock EBR yesterday on the 12th, V1. Under 30, over 30, and it's at 0.87%. So very, very nice. WBA. Okay, so Bob bought this yesterday with the break over the 200, which is significant to break over the 200. It's valid to buy back over the 200, but it doesn't always mean it's going to work, obviously. And, if I had taken this trade here, I would just get out with any close over the 200 because it's just told us it did not like the prices up there. And, if it goes back up over the 200, you can always get back in. But that one's down a little bit today. That's kind of a bummer. Hey, Steve Burns. Good to see you, my friend. Always nice to have you here. Always a pleasure and an honor. And I'm always excited to see you. I know everyone else is to be able to have you in the chat. Thank you so much. Steve says, hey, Greg, I am in IWM as well on the 1050 SMA cross. I took it the same time you did. Yes, sir. I feel like I'm in good company now. And it's hanging in there pretty well today as well. One other thing, I'm sure you saw this when we go through the charts, but Facebook, very close to a 1050 SMA crossover as well. Frank, hey buddy, good to see you. Hello, Greg and all. The market has no feelings, but it sure can sense your emotional reeling. You need a thick skin if you want to win, for strength must come from within before the market kicks you in the shin. Ooh, I've had the market kick me in the shin before, for sure. Thank you so much, Frank. I'd like to post that if I can. Frank is and Joe are the poem masters. So great. All right. So let me save that. The market has no feelings, but it sure can send your emotions reeling. You need a thick skin if you want to win, for strength must come from within before the market kicks you in the shin. So good, Frank. Thank you, sir. Jackson says, great, mate. It's a good resource. It's a good resource for Buck. Besides, rather than doing you, it is a good resource for Buck. Besides, rather than doing your head in which one, etc., as Dan said, we have look at the indicators. Just be aware, some are poorly written from private library. Oh, okay. I thought Jackson was busting out with the poem also. That makes sense, Jackson. Joe Turner. Oh, here we go. The Challenger. Joe says, so you woke up this morning and you felt kind of blue. You were wondering what the market might do. One day you'll wake up and you might have it made if you only realize that you don't have to trade. Ah, so good. Joe and Frank, so good. All right, let me put this one up here. And Katie is requesting. Give me one sec. Okay, Katie, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Jackson says, so just compare the levels on there to say some are internet sources, most should line up, but you should be good with public indicators. Bing He, how you doing? Bing He says, what do you think of AT&T? Well, let's take a look. Pretty good. higher low V1, close below the 1 ATR channel, into the value zone, 2 days down at least. Here's one day, here's another day. Beautiful V1 up in front of a large, up in front of a very small day one's bar. I like it. As a matter of fact, I am going to run the numbers on this. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Let's look at the weekly. Monthly, sorry. Monthly's in an uptrend. Weekly is back in the value zone, so it means it's pulled back. The higher time frame is pulled back. In the daily, there you go. Yes, I do like it. Above the moving averages, above the 50, MACD is positive. Yes, I like it for sure. So I am definitely going to be looking at AT&T at the end of the day. Thank you, Bing He. Zach says, any specific ones that you guys use that you would recommend? I'm not sure. Maybe you guys could help me answer that. Mount Doji, hey buddy, good to see you. Yahoo, Dan says Yahoo has impulse bars. Jackson says RSI, MACD, Keltner. Frank, have held SDC since February 4th for a squeeze, still in. I don't have that one up there. SDC. Oh, there we go. February 4th. Come on, Greg. Okay, very nice, Frank. Very, very nice. 70 RSI today. If I were trading this and it lost to 70, I would lock in. Okay, I will try to get to those comments in a minute. The rest of those, but this is the time of the day where I do like to talk about trading psychology. There's some really great Facebook and Twitter channels out there that post a lot of good information, some good trading words of wisdom that I think is very important to listen to or read each day. That's why I hit you over the head every day with this, because it's so important, and hopefully you'll internalize it. But this is from Rushi Korea at quant trader _RK on Twitter. But Rushi Korea, you could look it up that way. But I would really recommend that you subscribe to him on Twitter. Read his posts because they're really great. But this one, I think he tagged myself, Alpha Mind, and Pro Robbins. But, you know, when I read this, I thought I have to share this because, you know, this is what I always talk about, position sizing. If a position is too large, the trader will be prone to exit good trades in inconsequential corrections because fear will dominate the decision process. Trade within your emotional capacity, right? That's what I was telling you before. If you're having a hard time following your plan, reduce your position size, because what Mr. Korea is talking about here is true. If your position size is too large, you're going to be prone to want to exit it based on really an inconsequential move because you're being dominated by fear because the numbers are so high, right? So the best way to trade is to have a plan, stick with the plan, don't get shaken out because of some inconsequential move in the chart because your position size is too large. So you have to find that sweet spot, right? Enough that it makes sense and it's worth your while, but enough where your emotions don't get all revved up when it just goes up a tick or down a tick and you're like, I got to get out. I don't want to lose, right? That's no way to trade. You have to let it play out. So you have to find that sweet spot of position size, like I said, where it makes sense and it means something if you win, but it's not too much to cause fear. So for me, 10% position size works great. But yes, you're right, Mr. Korea. Trade within your emotional capacity. Find out where that is. If it's a $300 loss, if you're okay with a $300 loss and you can stick with the plan, fine. As your account grows, your capital grows, then maybe $400. Then you can get acclimated to that kind of loss. But anyway, thank you very much, Mr. Korea. I appreciate that. But if a position size is too large, the trader will be prone to exit good trades in inconsequential corrections because fear will dominate the decision process. You don't want fear to dominate the decision process. You want your process to tell you whether to get out or not fear because of position size is too large. Okay. Let's get going here before I run out of time. Okay, so now the market's down 108 points. All right, so it's selling off a little bit, but nice trade on that, Frank. All right, let's go through the regular chart, see what's happening, see if there's anything for today. Okay, Apple down $2.50 here. Need to pull back into value. Adobe rejected the third ATR channel. You guys know what I'm going to say. I need to pull back into the value zone. Anything above here, I consider overvalued. Inside the two green lines, I consider at value. Anything underneath the -1 ATR channel, which is this green line, undervalued. I want to buy things at value, at the worst, undervalued, at the best, and stay away from buying at the overvalued levels. Speaking of overvalued levels, or extended levels is probably the better way to say this, did hold the 6 ATR channel. Amazon's had a great move here, but again, I consider this overvalued, pull back into the value zone. Boeing having a tough time up here, and I was pretty sure that it would. It has the last few days. You have this downward sloping 100-day moving average. You have tested the 200-day now twice in a row and have been rejected. You have the third ATR channel. Boeing looks strong long-term here, but short-term it looks a little overextended. I would wait for a pullback into the value zone. Berkshire Hathaway, nothing really going on here. Beyond Meat, back into the value zone. See how we had this V1 here, but no sideways movement. That's usually what happens. You come into the value zone. If you have an immediate V1 without sideways movement, you move up and then you fail back down. So I would be looking for a washout of this previous low before I would get interested in Beyond Meat, or the 5 EMA crossing under the 20 EMA and then back over. Caterpillar up today, had a nice under 200, over 200. I did not take this trade, but that was a great trade. Now we're in the value zone. Now I'm looking for a couple days of pullback. Look for a higher low V1, V2. Dow Jones did not quite make a new high today, waiting for a pullback. Walt Disney, look at this sideways movement, everyone. My goodness, this thing is going to go one way or the other. That I know. I just don't know which direction, and I don't know when it's going to happen. But I do know, when prices just stay in this tight little range here and have this compression, we'll let that compression out, and it will move one way or the other. Just don't know which way. So just have to watch that. Etsy, very strong here. Need to pull back into value to get interested. Facebook, okay, so that's what Steve and I were talking about. The 10 SMA is under the 50 SMA. I would buy this if the 10 crosses over the 50 SMA. I'll show you the back test of the 1050 SMA on Facebook since 2000. Now, it doesn't look like it did very well compared to buy and hold, and it didn't, but it still had a 306% return using this approach compared to 991 for buy and hold, but the drawdown was only 23.6 compared to the drawdown of buy and hold. So this makes sense. I mean, it wins more than 50% of the time, and when you win twice what you bet. That's like this is better than flipping a coin, right? Imagine if you could flip a coin. If you won, you get paid $2. If you lost, you only have to pay $1. This is exactly what this back test is so far. Wins better than flipping a coin. It's 56.5%, and it pays 2 to 1. So, I would take that bet as long as I could stay awake, getting paid 2 to 1 on a 50-50 proposition. So that is basically what this proposition is on Facebook. But we have to wait for it to cross over. It's still under. So maybe that's something tomorrow. If it moves up again, we might get. Gold up today, came into the value zone. Nothing here, looking for a 5 to cross under the 20, back over. Google down today. Double top with the bullish divergence. Here we have a high. We have high MACD bars. We come back to the red, have negative MACD bars. Now we make a higher high. But you see how high this is compared to this? This is twice the height of this. This means that this second move here did not quite have the momentum as this one. So this is what Dr. Alexander Elder will call a double top with a bearish divergence. He would look at this as bearish. Goldman Sachs, I'm looking for a 520 EMA crossover, not quite there yet. Home Depot seems to go up every day, need to pull back into value. IBB, we have a higher range here, just looking for a pullback into the value, looking for some V1, V2. Intel, pull back into the value. Russell, of course, we have over here. We took the 1050 SMA crossover. Did not hit the profit target yet today, but it is up nicely, and that's the same signal as with Facebook. But IWM did signal the 1050 cross where Facebook has not yet. Johnson & Johnson, I've been waiting for Johnson & Johnson to come down. Don't want to buy up here. Rejected the third ATR channel. Now it's coming back into the value zone. This is where I wanted to see it. This is the sweet spot. Now it's more a value up here was overextended above value. So as long as we can get this to move sideways for a couple days, look to buy that dip with the V1 or a V2. CarMax, nothing on CarMax. Coca-Cola, similar to Johnson & Johnson, very high here, too high, need to buy a pullback into value. That's a good place to start looking for dips is in the value zone, and then your trigger is a V1 or a V2. Lockheed Martin, look at this. Here we have a high. You see the high bars associated with this high. Don't look here. Look over here because it was one move. So you have a high with very strong MACD bars here. We go down. Now we go make some red. Now we went higher. See how we went higher but not even any green? That's a double top with the bearish divergence. It's actually called a missing right shoulder, and it's even more bearish than a normal double top with the bullish divergence. So nothing on that here. MasterCard, pull back into value. McDonald's, pull back into value. Okay, so Merck. Look, Merck went under the 30 and over the 30. That by itself is a good signal, but that's all it has. It didn't test the previous low, have a false breakout to the downside. It didn't reject the negative third ATR channel and close back over. It doesn't have a double bottom with the bullish divergence. If I look over here on the weekly, the larger time frame, it did not hold the 50-week moving average. So I'm not going to take it. There's not enough. It's under 30, over 30, and that's it. It doesn't look good on the weekly chart to me. So I am going to pass. Microsoft, down again today, need to pull back into value. How are we doing on time? Netflix, pull back into value zone, too extended. Nike, nothing on Nike. MACD did go positive here. Philip Morris has been super strong. I mean, look, nobody wanted it. Everyone wants it. Isn't that strange? For me to get interested, pull back into the value right about here, halfway of the move from here to here. So that'd be a nice confluence of a 50% retracement Fibonacci and also back in the value zone. Somewhere here, like a bounce off the 50-day would look interesting if it gets there. PayPal, nothing there. Q's, Down, did make a new high today, but now it is pulled back. So I'm looking for a pullback into the value zone or the 5 EMA to cross under the 20. Silver up a little bit today. I am looking for a 5 EMA to cross over the 20 EMA for my signal. That's a good back tested signal. SPY, we had the overnight SPY loss. Going to be buying this again at the close. Bonds stronger today, but just too high up here. Need to pull back into value, sideways movement. Tesla up 4.32%. Big bar, bullish engulfing, V1, but just too high. It's up here at 70 RSI and a confluence with the third ATR channel. So nothing on Tesla. Twitter up today, under the 200, over the 200, just too high for me to buy up here. United Airlines, nothing here on United. Nothing here yet on United. Natural gas down today. Did take this back here. Moved sideways slightly up for a few days. Hit one profit target here, one profit target here, and then it just puked on me the next day. So that's one of the worst trades I've had. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but I did hit an emergency stop. That certainly hasn't happened this year. United Healthcare, of course, we have that. That one's been a great trade. Nothing to do here. Nothing to do with this trade yet. Oil up slightly. MACD crossover. That's positive. I'd like to see this move up into the value zone. A couple days down, then look for that higher low V1 or V2. VIX up today. Rejection of the -1 ATR channel. Close back over. But nothing. Verizon, strong day today. Looks like the telephones are having some pretty good days. Look at Walmart. We have earnings tomorrow, up 1.29%. Did reject the 50-day moving average, so I cannot get involved. Earnings are coming. Energy, nothing on energy. Financials, nothing there. Real estate, super high. We need to pull back into value. And utilities, wow, look at that. Big move up today. It was up here, pulled back, and then had another big run up here. I would look for the 5 EMA to cross back under the 20 and then back over, or just to pull back into value. We bought XLU back here when we were above the 1 ATR channel, came into the value zone, sideways movement, and then we got triggered on this fake out bar, and we rode it all the way up to there. So that was one of the better trades lately. And healthcare. So take a quick look again at Facebook. That definitely does not look like it's going to cross over. And then let's look at AT&T, being his suggestion. Under the 1 ATR channel, into the value zone. Do we have a couple days down? Yes, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 days down. Washed out the previous day's low. Yesterday's bar was less than 1 ATR. It's what I like. Washed it out, reversed back up, moved back through all these moving averages. Now I have all the moving averages below me as support. MACD is also positive, also over the 50 RSI. So I do like this. Okay. Okay, let's check our IWM. Almost got that profit target, but we're still good. We're still above the 5 and the 20. SPY is on autopilot to buy the SPY at the end of the day. And then UNH is fine. Nothing I have to do with this trade here yet. If tomorrow we close below today's low, that would be my reason to get out and take profits, because it's moved more than 1 ATR for my entry. From here to here is 1 ATR, and then of course we've moved way above that. So everything kind of looks like on autopilot here. The only thing I'm looking at here is AT&T. So we have about 5 minutes. Glenn said, tempted to buy SMH. with a weekly close around 150. We do have a bit of a bearish divergence here. We have this high with the high MACD bars. We pull back into red. Now we've gone higher with less green. So that is a bit of a bearish divergence on the weekly, but I'm not sure what approach you're using. On the daily, we are right up. We did reject the third ATR channel, and that happened last time. But let me know what you do, Glenn. Christopher, hey buddy, good to see you. Appreciate you being here, sir. Steve says, Frank and Joe, 5-star poems. I agree. 100% agree. And Steve says, I was watching Facebook as well for that cross. It went a little too far and too fast today with no cross. I agree. Has not crossed. Gamer said, getting out of BA today. Are you in BA? Did I not have this on here? Maybe you didn't tell me. Maybe you did, but it looks like a pretty decent place to get out if I were long. That's for sure. But let me know if you do for sure. But it sounds like you are. Okay, good. Jackson, so true, Greg. All getting back to sticking to your plan. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome. Even this morning had a red day mechanical, and I just thought that's the cost of doing business. That's exactly right. When you're in a business and you're selling things, the cost of your things are called your cost of goods sold, right? We know that. Well, there's a cost of goods sold in trading as well. It's called your losses. Right? If you have inventory, you can't expect you get inventory and you just sell it and you don't have to pay a cost for the inventory. You just bring the money in and you don't have to pay for something to sell. It's the same thing. Your cost of goods in trading are your losses. But of course, in any business, you want to keep your cost of your cost of goods as low as possible. And in trading, that means trying to keep your losses as small as possible. Kamal says that 200 SMA on BA, the moving average got adjusted for dividend today. They did. Let me make sure. Okay. Oh, right, because the dividend's today. Yeah, so down a little bit today. But in the bigger picture as well, Kamal, I mean, we're way up here and we have a confluence of all these overhead factors. Hey, Andrea, good to see you. Andrea and I had our first lesson last night. It was a 3-hour lesson, and I think Andrea did great. We went through it, and I hope it was helpful, Andrea. I'm looking forward to our second lesson on Saturday. Andrea says, hi, everyone. Had a great first training session with Greg last night. Oh, there you go. That's what I just said. Thank you, Andrea. And if you can, try to watch a replay of that lesson. We talked about the advantages of that. Bing He says, AT&T has overhead resistance. Yeah, I mean, it does, I suppose. My stop would be right about here. Yes, it probably should have some resistance here, but I like that it's up on a down day. I like that in the 3 time frames on the monthly, it's up. On the weekly, we are into the value zone, so it's pulled back into value on the weekly time frame. And it's a higher low V1. So I am definitely going to take this. MACD's positive over 50. Gamer says, yes, I was. I sold half yesterday and half today. Okay, well, very nice trade, Gamer. Murat, hey, good to see you, Murat. Hope you're having a good evening in Norway. Always nice to have you here. Thank you for your comments, all of that stuff. Bing He says, UNH is closing below the previous high. It is closing below the previous high. Yeah, that's a good point. Yesterday I was going to sell half if it closed below the previous high, and looks like it is going to close below the previous high. So I will go ahead and lock in half. Locking in half of your profits. If you're never quite sure what to do, selling half is not a bad idea. If you sell half and it goes up tomorrow, you're happy you still have half. If it goes down, you're happy you sold half. So good point on that, Bing He. I will go ahead and sell half of my remaining position on UNH today for that very reason. Okay, so okay, give me 1 sec. Sorry, let me move her around. I'll be right back. 10 seconds. Okay, that was longer than 10 seconds. So we're down 130 now on the Dow. We have 4 minutes left. Murat says, can you check STZ? STZ. A little high for me to buy, Murat, just the way I trade. Doesn't mean it can't go up, that's for sure. I mean, it did break out earlier, came back in, but it's just too high for me at 70 RSI and near the third ATR channel. I mean, sometimes you can get some great moves up here, but the majority of times you don't, honestly. If you were to take a trade like this near the 70 and near the third ATR channel, way more than 50% of the time it would probably come back on you. At least that's my research. Maybe yours is different, but for me, this is too high. I had a limit order at 194, but I think it won't come back. Oh, way down here. Well, yes, I would love it back at like 190, back here in the value zone. Yes, because you have a nice big move up and then come back into the value zone. You have support at the 20 and the 100. That's probably what you mean? Yeah, that's exactly where I'd like to buy that. Thank you. All right, 2 minutes. Let's take a look at AT&T. Make sure we're still good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and buy AT&T here. And once again, I do manage 2 accounts, so I have to always duplicate everything. Okay. And where did I get filled on this bad boy? 38.29. Now, do I think it's going to go up from here? I don't know. But I really don't know. But I always prime myself to go, no, it's probably a losing trade, because so if it does go down, I don't have any problem with my ego, and I just, boom, I can get out and say, see, I was right, right? So just a little bit of a hack. And I'm selling half of my Okay, there's half of my UNH gone. And that's it. All right. So I am going to put this line here showing that that was a 1/2 sell. Okay. So nice to lock in some profits on that, some substantial profits on that. And then we got, okay, good. So we got filled at 38.29. It's at 38.34. So that's nice. Nice way to start on AT&T. And then Mr. SPY, 337.06. Okay. So IWM, we're still under the 1050 cross and positive. SPY, the new overnight SPY trade here at 337.06. UNH has moved up really nicely here. I did scale out of 4 profit targets yesterday. Today I sold half of my remaining shares because it rejected the previous high here. And then the new entry here is AT&T with the higher low V1. MACD is positive, under 50, over all the moving averages. So we have Russell, SPY, little healthcare, and some telecoms. So not bad. Not a bad mix. And then we'll take a look at Facebook tomorrow if and when we get that crossover. Bing He exited UNH with profits. Grateful for that. All right, so Bing He also bought AT&T. Okay. All right, so we're going to take Bing He off of the UNH because he sold that. Very nice. Joe also sold UNH. All right. Donnie Robbins, hey buddy, good to see you, my friend. Donnie was one of my very, very first students, and I used to date his sister as well. How's that for a combo? Don says, what's up, Greg? Watching you from the phone in my car. Everyone sign up for Greg's one-on-one lessons. They help me a ton. Oh, thank you, Don. Appreciate that, bud. And pay attention to the road, would you? Not typing. Good to see you, Donnie. What's going on with your trades? Any trades? Just as soon as I say not to type. But when you get to a safe place, let me know. I'm way up on the year in my account, by the way. Fantastic. Marco, hey, Marco, what's going on, bud? Nice to see you, my friend. Appreciate you being here. Hope you have a nice night in Slovenia. Jackson says, definitely Don and Andrea. Greg really helped open my eyes and so beneficial to my trading. Well, thank you, Jackson. You were a great student, by the way. Gamer said, I entered AT&T as well. Okay. Everybody being careful with the position size. Not too crazy. That's the key. That is the key, honestly. That is the key to staying in this game and making money, is your position size. Okay. So that's that. Listen, if you have any other questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer. Take a look at some more stock symbols, anything you want. But before I do, just real quickly, have to put in my little daily plug. Let everyone know that I do offer private one-on-one coaching, teaching, and mentoring lessons in the evening time via Skype. I love to teach. I've had really good success with my clients. I do have a course. It's one-on-one course, just you and I. It's 5 sessions. Each session is between 2 and 3 hours. It is $1,000, but I think it really is a good value because I teach you everything that I've learned from all of my mentors and coaches over the last 24 years, like Stephen Burns, of course, Dr. Alexander Elder, Kerry Lavorne, Larry Williams. I've learned a lot of things from these gentlemen and have put them all into practice, and that's what I will teach you, in the lessons. And then also everything I've developed myself over the years. I have a few things up my sleeve as well, right? So kind of the format of the lesson is the first part of the lesson I teach. Second part, you have it teach it back to me. We do a lot of chart study. I throw a lot of questions at you, some curveballs just to make sure you're listening. But I think it's great. I really do think they're good lessons, and I think it's a really good way to learn one-on-one. You can ask as many questions as you want. You can ask me the same questions 100 times if you want. I don't care. I'm very patient. And I think a lot of people in seminars, trading seminars, they don't really dare ask if they still don't understand it. They don't want to take up time. So I think one-on-one is always the best in sports and trading, in anything. So if you're interested in possibly signing up and taking that course with me, let me know. I do like to have kind of a quick interview, a two-way interview on Skype. It's totally free. I just want to make sure we're a good fit for each other both ways. And I'd like to ask you about your trading and your goals and your challenges. Of course, you can ask me anything you want as well. And if we decide we're a good fit after the Skype call, then we'll go ahead and schedule the lessons. And if not, then it was fun speaking to you on Skype as well. And there's no pressure or obligation, I promise you. And then if you like today's podcast, if you like the live stream, whatever we want to call it, please do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. It does help grow the channel. There's a lot of people out there that need help, and I think if we could get them to this channel on a semi-regular basis, it would help them. And by the way, Kamal, if you're listening, in my help thread on Google, my administrator lady, she says she's actually going to reach out to Google on that issue that I was discussing with you. It's like, oh my gosh, this could be it. I could get it fixed. So who knows? Long story. I won't bore everyone with it, but Kamal knows what I'm talking about. It's going to keep me from having to hang out in the Google parking lot with the sign. Everyone's like, what is he talking about? Kamal knows what I'm talking about. Murat says, I think Match has a very good setup, but it feels like it needs a few more days to go sideways and perhaps drop a point or more before a real takeoff. I am watching today. Let's take a look. Okay, so this did close below the 200. Any change from Kamal or Malik on this? IAC looks like it did hold the 100 and the 200. Being he's still in KL. Gamers kicking butt with URI. Evans doing fine on DD. Being he's about even on his EBR trade. Bob, are you still in WB8 or did you get out? Kamal says, okay, cool. I hope it gets resolved. I do too. I read that and went, oh, she's going to talk to Google. This is fantastic. She has a secret pass into the kingdom. You're still in. Okay. I do like where Match is on, it's right back in the value zone. That's on the weekly. That's a really good place to be. Nice move up, move down into the value zone. If you go to the smaller time frame here, it's come down, did move sideways, but definitely sideways, but This is probably going to go down or it's going to go zooming back up, one of the two. Okay, Kamal's still in match in UNH. All right. I am as well, but I did sell half today. Any other changes from anyone else on the current positions for me to clean up on the board? Oakley dokley. All right. Okay. Well, we're finally getting some positions back. There was a while there where it was pretty slim picking. So IWM's working well, up about over 1% on that one. SPY, we've had a nice run of it the last little bit. A little loss today, but not too bad. UNH, real nice here. If we close below today's low in the coming days, or any close below the previous day's low, I will definitely get out. It is painting a fake out bar here, meaning yesterday we had a high, today we went higher than that high and reversed back down. It's a V1 to the downside. That's a bearish signal. Tomorrow, if it just keeps going down, this will disappear. But if it goes up and goes over yesterday's high, so you have a high, today we went higher and lower, that's negative. But if you can take a negative and immediately turn it back into a positive, now it becomes net positive again. And so if we go up higher than yesterday's high, it will remain, showing that it triggered. If tomorrow just goes straight down, then this will disappear like it never happened. Dan says, Greg, hope your shoulder's doing better. Thank you, Dan. Thank you for remembering that. Yeah, my shoulder hurts. It still hurts. You know, I go to the gym and I hang on those bars and I do the stomach thing where you lift your legs up. And for some reason, I just think I tore a little something, but at least I can move my arm to the computer now without groaning. Every time you would ask me, hey, take a look at this stock, I'm like, ugh, have to reach up there. But thank you, Dan. That's kind of you. Murat says, there is a company in Oslo Exchange and their office is just across the street where I live. Today it dropped 25% because of a secondary offering. I just bought as much as I could at the bottom. Oh, interesting. I wish we could see that one. How come you bought it, Murat? Suddenly it became 20% of my stock portfolio. Oh, well, I hope it goes up. Dan says, do you know the conservative stuff to do? Not sure what you mean by that, Dan. I'm not sure if you're speaking to me or to Murat. I don't know if you're talking to Murat about the conservative stuff or something conservative about my shoulder. I'm not sure. All right. Oh, Zach said Roku earnings tonight, and I wanted to get at 118 a week ago, and it shot past me. Yeah, welcome to trading, huh? Let's see if Roku's earnings are out yet. Oh, up 7%. I guess they are. Oh, AT&T's up 9 cents after hours. That's good. S&P is up about 30 cents. That's a good start. That's a really good start, actually, with the AT&T trade. Do you know the conservative stuff to do about my shoulder? You mean like the little exercises you do where you hold your shoulder in and with the light weight? Is that what you're talking about? Zach says, These secondary offerings usually happen behind the doors. Limit is 100,000 euro, but the price of the exchange just went to the offering price, which does not happen most of the time. Overreaction. I see. Hey, Melik, how you doing? Hi, Greg. I am still holding MTCH and IAC. Both just traded sideways today. Okay. So I do still have you here on MTCH and IAC. Yes, sideways today. Okay, good to know. Thanks for confirming. All right. Okay. Well, if anyone has any other questions or anything I can help you with, please let me know. Otherwise, I will get my hiking boots on and head on out of here. Thanks to Joe and Frank for those poems, as always. All right. Maria says, idea is that if big investors see value at the offering price, there should be more value in the company compared to the offering price. Usually offering happens when there is a problem or new investment. Yes. Good night, Christopher. Hope you have a nice evening in the UK, my friend. Appreciate you coming by as always. Hope to see you again. Yeah, Murat is pretty savvy with his investments, both on a technical and a fundamental level. Okie doke. Well, you guys have a lot, and girls have a lot of positions here. But the nice thing is none of these positions I see have big losses. That's the key. When they're losers, get on out. While they're going up and doing fine, be patient. Remember, most people are fearful when they have a profit and hopeful when they have a loss. But we want to do the opposite. We want to be hopeful when we have a winner, and we want to be very fearful when we have a loser. That's the key. Brian Schwartz, hi, how you doing? Anyone know if NVIDIA reported yet? Well, let's take a look. Well, they're up $3. They're up 1%, but I don't know if that's if earnings have actually come out. Now they're up 1.2%, so it looks like earnings have come out, I would imagine. Now they're up 2.6%. Now they're up 3.5%. So I definitely think. Do you have any NVIDIA, Brian? Merritt says, thanks, Greg. I still do real stupid moves, though. Don't we all, Merritt? I mean, don't we all? I mean, look at long-term capital management. How many billions and billions of dollars were they managing? Hundreds of billions of dollars. They have, PhDs, Nobel Prize winners. They blew up as well. So, yeah, we might be smart most of the time, but yes, we do stupid stuff in trading sometimes. The key is to realize it and just try to make it not happen, or not to do those stupid things. But I get it, buddy. Zach says, thanks. Have a great night. You too, Zach. Andrea, I did buy some tea at the close. Oh, Andrea did. Now we got to get Andrea up on here. And again, Andrea, it was great having that lesson with you, and I look forward to our next one on Saturday. And Kamal, our next one is on Monday. Brian said, no, sold it before close. Well, it's the right thing to do, Brian. In hindsight here, of course you wish you would have sold it. I 100% agree or understand. But, again, in trading, first of all, we want to be able to protect the capital that we have before we try to make more money. And the very best way you can do that, the very best way is not to gamble through earnings. That really is the truth. It could have been down 5% or 4%, and you would have one big whack, right? But you are gambling. You don't know what the earnings are going to be. And even if you did know exactly what the earnings are going to be, doesn't even really mean that the stock's going to go up if you had great earnings. I used to be an officer, the company that I started was a public company. We had stock, chewing gum company. I knew what the earnings were. I could never guess what the stock was going to do, even though I knew the earnings. Well, it's cranking, up 5%. Dow futures are up a little bit. IWM is up after hours. SPY's up 35 cents. That's nice. AT&T is up 4 cents. That is good. So that's a good start. It's a good start so far to the trade for Gamer, Bing He, Andrea, and myself on AT&T. But again, my stop on AT&T tomorrow, halfway the washout bar, right? And if we lose halfway, we're also going to lose the 5, the 10, the 50, and the 20, right? And today we were under and went right back over, so that should act as some support. Doesn't mean it's going to go up, but from a technical standpoint, we do have those moving averages as support underneath us. Okay, well, listen, thank you everybody for coming today. I do appreciate it. I hope you have a nice rest of your day. Please, 2 things to remember. Please go out, do something nice for somebody today. Just a wave or a smile or hold the door or be pleasant. It really might make a big difference in that person's day, and they may go on and make a positive difference in someone else's day. I know it sounds all woo-woo, but, I'm not trying to be woo-woo with it. I'm just trying to say that it really could make a difference if you just do something, some nice little act of kindness or just some kind gesture might turn somebody's day around, and it's free and it doesn't take, you don't have to burn a lot of calories doing it. So please go ahead, just something nice for somebody today. And before you leave, if you don't mind, if you could just take your mouse, put it down to the little thumbs up button, hit the thumbs up button. That would be really great if you could do that as well. Bing He says, I am getting to know what kind of setup Greg likes. Haha. Yes, you are. You definitely are. Bing He's come a long way since we first started. We had our call, Bing He and I had our call, and we talked about trading and so forth. But I have definitely seen, an improvement in Bing He as far as my setups are concerned. Not that he didn't know what he was doing before, but as far as, like he said, picking what kind of setups I like. Okay, everybody. That's it. I'm going to get out of here. So have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you tomorrow on Friday, on Valentine's Day, as a matter of fact, right? And so we'll have a Valentine's show. All right. Dan says, agree, love everyone. 100%, Dan. 100%. We should really do more of that each day. So, okay, take care. Hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see you tomorrow during the last hour of the market. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.